England fell into chaos when two royal families claimed the throne. The House of Lancaster wore the red rose, while the House of York carried the white rose. Both sides believed the crown belonged to them by blood. This rivalry ignited a brutal civil war that would last for decades. Kings were overthrown, alliances shifted, and brothers fought brothers. Noble families betrayed each other to survive the changing tides of power. Battles were fought across fields soaked in blood and ambition. No crown was ever truly safe during this time. One king was captured and killed, while another rose only to fall. Queens and nobles plotted in shadows, using marriage as a weapon. The people of England suffered as war returned again and again. The struggle for power consumed the nation. The war ended when Henry Tudor defeated Richard III at Bosworth Field. The red and white roses were united through marriage. A new dynasty, the Tudors, rose from the ashes of war. Peace returned, but England would never forget the cost of betrayal. Have you ever heard of a war fought not with flags, but with flowers? Imagine England, a kingdom torn apart not by foreign invaders, but by its own royal family. This is the story of the Wars of the Roses, a brutal 30-year civil war where cousin fought cousin and brother fought brother, all for the ultimate prize, the English crown. It all started with two branches of the same family tree, the House of Lancaster and the House of York. The Lancastrians, represented by the red rose, held the throne, but the Yorkists, with their white rose, believed they had a stronger claim. This wasn't just a polite disagreement. It was a deep-seated rivalry that plunged the entire nation into a whirlwind of chaos and bloodshed. The question was simple, but the answer was deadly. Who was the rightful king of England? The conflict kicked off in the mid-1400s, a time of weak leadership under the Lancastrian king Henry VI. He suffered from bouts of mental illness, leaving a power vacuum that his ambitious relatives were all too eager to fill. Richard, Duke of York, stepped forward, claiming he could govern better. This sparked the first battles, and soon the green fields of England were stained red with the blood of its own nobles and soldiers. The throne became a deadly game of musical chairs. One moment, a Yorkist king sat on it. The next, a Lancastrian kings were captured, deposed, and even murdered. Edward IV of York, a charismatic and formidable warrior, seized the throne, but even he was briefly forced into exile. The old king, Henry VI, was imprisoned in the Tower of London, where he eventually met a grim end. No one was safe, and loyalty was a currency that could be spent and betrayed in an instant. Behind the scenes, powerful women played a crucial role. Margaret of Anjou, Henry VI's fierce and determined queen, led the Lancastrian forces with an iron will, refusing to see her son disinherited. On the other side, Elizabeth Woodville, Edward IV's queen, navigated the treacherous court politics, securing power and influence for her own family. Marriages weren't about love. They were strategic alliances, weapons used to forge new loyalties and secure claims to the throne. The war saw some of the most brutal battles in English history. At Towton, on a snowy Palm Sunday, tens of thousands of men fought and died in what is considered the bloodiest battle ever fought on English soil. Families were shattered. The powerful Neville clan, led by the Kingmaker, the Earl of Warwick, first supported York, then switched his allegiance back to Lancaster, demonstrating just how quickly the tides of power could turn. For the common people of England, life was a nightmare of uncertainty, as armies marched across their lands, and the crown changed hands with terrifying frequency. The final act of this long and bloody drama came with the rise of a figure who had been waiting in the wings: Richard III. After his brother Edward IV's death, Richard seized the throne, famously imprisoning his young nephews, the princes in the Tower, who were never seen again. Richard's reign was short and shrouded in controversy. His ruthlessness created many enemies, setting the stage for one last challenger. That challenger was Henry Tudor, a distant Lancastrian claimant who had been living in exile. With French support, he landed in Wales and marched to face Richard at the Battle of Bosworth Field in 1485. In a dramatic climax, Richard III was cut down in the thick of the fighting, the last English king to die in battle. Henry Tudor was crowned King Henry VII, and the long war was finally over. But how do you heal a nation so deeply divided? Henry did something brilliant. He married Elizabeth of York, the daughter of the Yorkist King Edward IV. This marriage literally united the warring houses. He then created a new symbol, the Tudor rose, which combined the red rose of Lancaster and the white rose of York. It was a powerful message of unity and the dawn of a new era. The Tudor dynasty was born from the ashes of the Wars of the Roses, a dynasty that would include some of England's most famous monarchs, like Henry VIII and Elizabeth I. The war was over, but its legacy of betrayal, ambition, and the terrible cost of power would echo through English history for centuries to come. Thanks for watching our deep dive into this chaotic period of history. If you enjoyed this, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more stories from the past. Let us know in the comments which historical conflict you'd like to see next. See you in the next video.